Welcome! We are going to be finding the arc length of a circle, and that is just going to be the part of the circle that you see right here, this part, as if there was a wire or a string being stretched from this point to this point and passing through a central angle of 140 degrees. So this is a 140 degree central angle, and we are going to find the actual length of this arc. We do know that the arc length is going to be determined by the radius of the circle, and we know it's in centimeters. And so when you see the words arc length, a good place to start is with the circumference of the circle. So 2 times pi times the radius, or the diameter times pi is another way to write the formula for the circumference of a circle. So again, anytime we're working with a part of the circle, we're going to need to figure out what the whole circle is first, and then be able to make this comparison for the part that we're working with. So we're going to find the circumference by taking 2 times pi times our radius, which is 6. So that's going to be 12 pi. And if we leave it in terms of pi, that's fine. We can do that. Or we can go ahead and multiply it times pi, and we get an approximation of 37.68 centimeters. Now remember, that is the entire circumference. So that is the whole circle that you have found right there. And what we want to do is we want to find a part of that circle. So what we're going to compare it to is the part of the circle that we know in terms of degrees. We know that the part of the circle we want is 140 degrees, and we also know that the entire circle is going to have 360 degrees in the entire circle. So we are going to set that equivalent. Essentially, we're going to use proportions and go ahead and solve for that arc length. So the 37.68, okay, does it go in the top of the fraction or the bottom of the fraction? That's a good thing to kind of keep in mind, especially if you're working with something where you're working backwards in a problem like that. This that we found right here, this is the whole circumference. So we're going to place that in the denominator, just like it's across from the whole circle in terms of degrees, okay? So this is our unknown value of x, essentially our arc length, and we're going to go ahead and set up an equation this time with cross multiplication. So 140 times 37.68 will be equal to 360 times x. And so as you continue to solve on your calculator, you can take 140 times 37.68 and then divide that by 360. And that should give us our value of x. So let me go ahead and catch up to you there on that. And some of you may be doing this along with me. That would be great. Such a great strategy if that's what you're trying for this online learning. So we get a value of 14.65 centimeters. And if I was rounding to the nearest tenth of a centimeter, okay, the nearest tenth of a centimeter would be this place right here. So if it were rounding to the nearest tenth of a centimeter, 14.7 centimeters is our arc length. Okay? So there's one example. Another example you might see is in the form of something that looks like this. This is an example of an SAT type question. And one of the things that I notice before I even jump into what the problem is asking on this is that I have a circle and it is cut into 4 equal parts. That's going to be important, I'm sure. All right. And we know that because of this 90-degree angle right here. So each of these central angles must be 90 degrees as you're looking around the circle. The question is this: the circle above with the center at O has a circumference of 36. Oh, well, that's nice. they have already told us the circumference. Very nice. It says, what is the length of minor arc AC? Okay, so minor arc AC is this arc right here, the arc that passes between A and C. And because we know it's a fourth of the circle, we might be able to even do some mental math on this one, right? You could set up your equivalent fraction again. You could say 90 parts of 360 is equal to x over 36, which is our circumference of the circle, and work through the algebra. Of course, we could make that happen very quickly, right? But we don't even need to do that if we take a look at those equivalent fractions and if we know we're talking about a fourth of the circle. So here's your circumference. Okay. Circumference is 36. We're talking about 1/4 of the circumference. So really on this one, you can just use mental math and take 36 and divide it into fourths and get your answer, which is 9. Okay. That one is even easier than the first one. We like those. All right, guys, that's how you find the arc length in a circle. Look for those in your homework, and good luck. All right. Have an awesome day. Have fun working with circles. Take care.